Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Back again, and I'm sure you're wondering what happened to the 6.0. Well, that's gone, as is the Buick Regal. Now, plans changed. I am in college, so I think I am allowed to change my mind. And I recently fell into a pretty good deal, pretty good opportunity to sell the Buick Regal. Now, I did make a little bit of money off of it, so I decided, why not? Why not invest it back into another project car? This one hopefully will go a little bit further than the Regal. The Regal, it only it only made it to the test drive it in the driveway stage before it was gone. It didn't last too long, and I think for one reason for that being was I had trouble finding a drive shaft for it, and I had been looking for one for probably a good 3 months for it, and I finally just lost interest in it, and I was ready to sell it. So I did. But now I bought this car. Now it is a bit rough. It's an 88 Trans Am. It was originally a 350 automatic car, and a friend of mine bought this car off of another friend of mine, and he took the tuned port motor and transmission out of it, and also every ounce of wiring in the engine bay. It is now in his 1980 Malibu. So the 6.0, back to the 6.0, it's gone. Well, I'll probably get a lot of criticism for this, but me being in college, it was going to take a long time to save up and put a 6.0 into one of these. Since they don't just bolt right in, it takes a few modifications. And it still had the truck pan and the truck intake, and I would have had to buy new of those, motor mounts, and also a transmission. And I would have had to have get a drive shaft made for it. So I didn't want to bother with all of that right now, and I just wanted to have a car I could drive. So I found someone who was willing to trade their small block Chevy and a 5-speed for the 6.0, straight across. Now I have heard this small block run, and I have drove it, so I know it runs through all the gears very well. And I don't know how much I believe what the man said, but according to him, this small block is relatively fresh. I mean, there is no grease on the block or on the pan, which is a good sign. But the intake's quite dirty, and the valve covers look like they've been on there since '88 or whatever year this engine was made. But I have put it in, and I have made a few modifications. I cut my hole in my floor pan for the shifter, and for the last hour I have been unbolting the automatic pedal assembly for the standard pedal assembly. There's a few more parts I'm needing. I still need to cut the hole for the clutch master cylinder. I'm not sure if the automatic cars they had the hole already cut, and they just had a rubber grommet in them to keep everything out of it or not. I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit more research. But the pedals are in. I took the seat out just to make it a lot easier on myself. I I modified my factory automatic console so that the standard shifter would work with it. I tried to save as much of all the brackets as I could, just in case I want to go back to an automatic for, I don't know, drag racing purposes or something. I do love to drag race. My father owns a 72 Chevelle that I absolutely love to drive, 454 big block car, but it is an automatic, turbo 400. But I was dead set on putting an automatic in this car. And then my friend bought a 2001 Trans Am 6-speed, and I drove it once. And then I was dead set on a manual. I've never owned a manual car before, and his was one of the first I've driven. And I gotta tell you folks, it is fun. Fun enough to convert me from automatic to standard, that's for sure. But yeah, I'm glad, you know, the hole I cut, it's not perfect, but it'll get the job done. It'll work. The console's not bolted in permanently or anything. It's just for mock-up. I'm probably not anywhere near driving this car yet. I need to buy headers and the slave cylinder and the master cylinder. I need to still cut the hole. I need to... my friend gave me a Walbro fuel pump designed for these cars. Actually, I have a fuel sending unit right over there. And I'm having trouble deciding whether I want to run that with a regulator or buy a pump that doesn't need a regulator, a manual fuel pump. Mechanical, I mean. Sorry. But the interior is not too bad. All the panels are here. There's the sail panel. The headliner is pretty rough. All the material's gone, but the board's still there. The dash, though, is flawless. It is perfect, and I can't believe it. And I find that hard to believe because this car, as you can see, focus, has 167,000 miles on it. And to me, the inside of this car does not look like a 167,000 mile car. Still has a factory radio in it. I was informed that this is a rare option, but it has the pop-up cassette holder. Come on. Okay. Technical difficulties. There we go. Helps if you flip them the right way. But yes, it did come with this. And I cannot find an RPO code to save my life. The sheet for it, I cannot find it to save my life. I have checked in all the places I've been told that it resides. On the console lid, not there. It's not in the console. I have also checked in this storage compartment here, right here, and it's not in there either. So if anybody has any information, I am all ears. I would love to hear about it. The taillights are cracked, but I do have another set here that were given to me. Quite dirty, but they are mint. This does have the, no, not that panel, this one, the performance suspension. I've heard mixed opinions on whether or not the 9-bolt rear end that came in some of these cars is rare or not. I was told they were in a few cases, and then others I've heard that a lot of them actually came with it. But I haven't really gotten any information on the aluminum drive shaft this car has. It is factory. And I didn't know that they started making aluminum drive shafts in the 80s. This is an 88. I didn't think they started making those until the late fourth gens, like 98 to 02. So that was news to me, and I'm quite excited actually that it came with an aluminum drive shaft. I wasn't expecting that actually when my friend gave it to me, the one who took the motor and transmission out of this. I don't know if he planned on using it or what, but it does have the four-wheel disc brakes and the power brakes and power windows. It has the whole nine except for electric seats and leather. And it is not a GTA, unfortunately. Dead giveaways, the vents and the fenders, and the Pontiac logo on the front. Which headlamp is it? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say Pontiac on this headlamp cover. It's not on that one either. But project is moving along quite well. The worst part, the part I'm gonna have the most trouble with is figure out the wiring on this car. I mean, I have a battery cable, and then the other battery cable is down here somewhere. It's came with the engine pretty much. I went to the junkyard and ripped out a harness out of a V6 car, you know, just to have something to work with, and it was on the ground, so I couldn't get the starter wires, and I had to cut up a bunch of it, which was kind of disappointing. There's the rest of it, and it's snaky goodness in the rear seat. There's my computer, tune port computer. But yeah, that's about it. One dent in the car right there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get a light on that. One dent right there, and that's all. That's all I can find on it. The paint is awful on this car, but the body is super straight. And I have never painted hardly anything. I mean, the most experience I've had with painting anything is probably the time I painted the cover on our propane tank outside for my mother. That's about it. I don't have a background on painting, but I would love to try it. That was the first time I've ever cut a hole in the car either, but it turned out pretty well if you ask me, for the first time using a Sawzall or a circle saw. Yeah, I'm still fairly young, getting into the mechanicking side of things, and I was going to jump straight into LS, but like I said, I don't have the funds that everyone else has. I'm a DIY guy, and after driving this car, being a carbureted big block, I wanted to have some fun with carburetors first. I wanted to start out simple and learn, you know, work my way up to fuel injection and turbos. But instead, for right now, just work with a small block and a 5-speed with a carburetor on the small block. Now, I do want to run long tubes, but I've heard that to run the long tubes, you know, like I said, my funds are limited, so I'm going to obviously go for the cheaper route, and Hedman makes a set, but they say they're not compatible with the 5-speed, so I've heard of guys modifying them to go around the slave cylinder, so I will most likely be doing that. Keep an eye out for later videos. I will definitely try and keep you updated on any progress, and let me know if you guys want to see actual hands-on work or if you just want update videos. I mean, you guys will have to let me know. I can't read your minds, but I would love to know. I want your feedback on this car, and you know, let me know about the RPO codes. Where else can I find them? What can I do to look them up? I know I can look the VIN number up, but I'm not sure what website would allow me to do that. I just haven't researched it much at all. And with finals done now, thank God, um, I'll be able to put back quite a bit more money for this old turd now that I don't have to drive 40 miles one way 4 times a week. So, just let me know. One last note. I was also thinking about running AC, but that can always be added on later. And with this only being a 305, I don't really think I need the robbing AC. I don't need it robbing any more power than this thing already puts out. What, like, I think 150 or 180 horse, and I don't need the AC robbing that from me. Oh, sorry. Another side note is this is the driver's seat. Get a close up for you. No rips. This thing looks brand new, other than like slight staining. I've never cleaned it since I've owned it, but it looks flawless, and I can't believe it because it has 167,000 miles on it. But thank you very much for watching, and please give me some feedback. Sorry about the finger being in front of the camera. I would love to hear about it, and the RPO codes. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.